Have you ever wondered how deeply astronomy has influenced our culture and how culture itself has also greatly impacted astronomy? My name is Dr. Dupe Oseni, and today I'll be talking about cultural astronomy and how it is being used as a tool to communicate astronomy. I'm a graduate student at IMPI Brazil and a visiting scholar at Blue Marble Space Institute of Science, and I'm working on a book project under the guidance of Daniela Scales, a research supervisor at BMSIS and the lead of the NASA Navigation Partnership Program. Astronomy is considered to be the oldest science known to humankind, and culture has always existed ever since human has been existing. And even though a lot of culture and practices have gone extinct today, due to some writings and artifacts, representations, monuments, tombs, we've been able to learn and have some knowledge of the ancient cultures. We've been able to learn about the organization and structures of their cities and structures of their life back then. And it is evident that people have always looked up to heaven and their culture have been influenced in one way or the other by their observation from heavenly objects. Cultural astronomy is the investigation of ways in which diverse cultures, ancient and modern, perceive celestial bodies and how they integrate them into their view of the world. And we can divide it into two broad fields, which is archaeoastronomy and ethnoastronomy. Archaeoastronomy is the study of the use of astronomy and its role in ancient cultures and civilizations, while ethnoastronomy is much more involved in astronomy in relation with ethnic group and social group context. Now, the focus of this presentation closely aligns with archaeoastronomy and also with historical astronomy, which involve exploring the use of historical records of heavenly events and which has the potential to answer astronomical problems. Where did it all start from? We have a publication from Norman Lockyer on the dawn of astronomy, and that marked the beginning of an era, the cultural astronomy. But however, he tried to date structures purely by using astronomical criteria, therefore giving little or no regard to archaeological findings. And this caused this new path to receive a lot of criticism, such that no one else dared to venture into this path for more than half a century. And it was until in 1968 that Gerald Hawkins stimulated a reawakening by publishing this book called Stonehenge Decoded. And this drew popular attention to astronomical practices of earlier cultures, and interest has continued to grow ever since then. One of the interesting things that have been uncovered is how astronomy seems to have changed over the years. For example, the Sirius star is noted in a lot of cultures across the world has been described as red. But today, when we look at the star, what we see is a whitish bluish object body in the night sky. And some scientists have considered that this could have a relationship with the evolution of this Sirius star. And this is still a matter of research anyways. And another interesting one is Pleiades, the star cluster, which is commonly and popularly called the Seven Sisters. But when we look at the night sky today, what an average person sees is 6 stars. And scientists have also thought that could this be as a result of a long-term variability of the Pleiades star, or maybe just simply because they had darker skies in the ancient days and so we're able to observe more? So other interesting focus or things that we considered over the years are monuments that have accurate astronomical alignments, and these sites can be found in several places all over the world. Now, in a video created by the National Geographic in collaboration with Jarita Elbrook, a cultural astronomer, she shared some of these thoughts. Like, our ancestors have always been looking up, telling stories about night sky stars, about planets and life down here on Earth. And practical things like navigation, agriculture, calendar, time have always been related to astronomy. On the top right here, we have the Egyptian calendar. This is one of the three they have, and this was designed with the solar movement. And here we have the nebula sky disk. that was discovered near Nebra in Germany. It's a bronze disc representing the full moon stars and some other structures on it. In the olden days, in the ancient days, the people needed to memorize the position and location of stars in the night sky because it was important for life itself. The Pacific Islanders, they needed to know because they do a lot of sea navigation. They usually use the Polaris star, which is called the North Star, to know and identify the direction they are moving towards. Why the Polaris is a sign, it was a guidance for some group of people. For another cultural group, like the Africans, it meant freedom for them because enslaved Africans always escaped towards the North Star for freedom. And as we bring to knowledge these ancient practices, we hope to also be able to share with the people the modern astronomical knowledge with community. Now, my supervisor is a lead of this program which is a partnership between the NASA and the Navajo Nation. Navajo is a Native American community, and in 2005, a group of Navajo educators and leaders met with NASA representative, and they discussed how can we bring science and culture together in a dual learning environment such that both are held equal and not one being brought over another. And it came to a consensus. Booklets were designed that contained stories, art, gemstone collections, and through these things, they were able to educate the people, the indigenous people, about stars, about circles. And here we can see an educator using the Navajo cradle board to work on activities on the origin of the solar system and moon. They were able to explore topics like the light, electromagnetic spectrum, and a lot of diverse things. So where did this come from? I'm from Africa, which is considered one of the most diverse continents on earth today, and specifically from Nigeria, which has over 250 ethnic groups and over 500 different languages. We do not have astronomy studies or space science related subjects in our primary and secondary school, and even only few of our universities actually teach it. So the interest came from the idea that we have a lot of cultural knowledge about the sky. We have a lot of stories, origin stories about the planet. What if we create a medium through which these two are brought together so we can educate the young and old about the modern astronomy? Through this, you can learn more about the ancient astronomy they have practiced, and they can also learn from us how far science have gone. During one of my research, I discovered some of this interesting ancient knowledge that Africans have had. And this is the Dogon Tribe, which have always believed that the Sirius star has a companion star. And this was not discovered until 1862, when an astronomer made an observation with a telescope and noticed that truly Sirius is not a single but binary star. And they've also believed that the Sirius star is very small and very dense. And this was true until 1967, when Jocelyn Bell discovered another type of star, which is the neutron stars, which is now considered the smallest and heaviest of all stars. And another one is the interesting site of monuments, which is called the Namoratsunga. This site dates back to the 4th century, and it was until recently when archaeologists and scientists explored this site and they found that they are not just random stones lying on the ground, but they are accurately aligned with 7 stars and constellations. And not just that, they've been used to develop complex and accurate calendar system as far back as years ago. And so through this knowledge, we want to target African secondary school students. We want to use this as a medium to bring back the cultural stories. This way we can preserve them to the generations to come, while we also introduce astronomy to them, where they can learn in classes and subjects through reading more about the cultural knowledge that people have had, and also learn about the science, wonderful science of today, and the amazing discoveries that we have. How can we all participate? So I encourage us all to connect with people in our community, to listen to them, learn how astronomy has been practiced in the past, and we might be surprised at the accuracy of some of their knowledge, despite the absence of technology at that time. And through that, we can also educate them about the modern knowledge, science, and technology have brought to us all. Thank you so much.